Well, good evening, everyone. And here we are, our weekly show, the Rumble Mumble, broadcasting live tonight from Burco Molding in Noblesville, Indiana. Looking forward to a great show tonight. With me again, Kyle Dager from Grit Motorsports, and our special guest we'll be talking to shortly, Randy Burrows. Just kind of a reminder that the 22nd annual Rumble in Fort Wayne is coming up on December 27th and 28th. And that's kind of why the 722, 22-minute show.
Minutes, yeah.
And hard to believe, but moving right along. Last week's show, very exciting with Tony Stewart joining us. The numbers just like exploded as far as the viewership and everything. So we're really excited about that.
Yeah, it's been incredible to see the support that we've gotten on this show and the upcoming races this December. The engagement has been awesome. There's been a lot of shares, a lot of likes. You see quite a few people already in here. We're only a minute in, so that's pretty cool.
And the neat thing about the show is, yes, it's live, but it stays on the Rumble Facebook page all week long. So even if you can't sit for 22 minutes, you can do it in segments and watch it. So a little bit about the race coming up. We'll have on the website here some exciting news. The host hotels are going to stay the same this year. The rates are all confirmed, and they all have racers' rates available. Just ask for them. On the website, we'll have the addresses. But if you want to jot this down, the Hyatt Place, which hosted us 2 weeks ago, is staying at $82, and that includes the wonderful breakfast that they have. The Party Place, the Ramada Plaza, they are holding their rate at $80, and that's with the swimming pool and the racer's friend, the bar. And the Holiday Inn right across the street, a little bit more expensive, but you've got convenience of being able to walk right over it. That's $109, and that also includes a breakfast. So Hyatt Place, Ramada Plaza, Holiday Inn, those are our host hotels. And everybody's asking entry forms. They'll be done next week. That is the goal. They will be online and ready to go out to the racers. And somebody that's been bugging me about the entry forms, and I tell you, I've known this guy for quite a few years now, and he's never short on words. And the thing I like about him, if he's got something to say, he tells you. You may not like it, but he'll tell you. And he shoots from the cuff, and that's none other than Randy Burrow. So, Randy, welcome to our show.
Oh, thanks. Thank you very much.
It's good to have you here. We just took a tour of this building here. I just didn't realize that Burco Molding was quite the deal that it is. And now I see why you're so rich.
Oh, really? No, it's not. It's not anything like that. Yeah, this is my dad started in 1970, and then I started in 1976, and we've been here ever since. And it's just we just make plastic parts for other manufacturers.
Yeah, I was really shocked. I know Kyle and I, we went through, and it was really, really interesting. So much about the work. Let's hear a little bit about your racing background.
Well, since Anderson's so close, I started in street stocks over at Anderson. Did some go-kart racing before that, but and then we ran, did street stocks at Anderson, then the Sportsman, and then the modifieds, and then ventured out into modifieds and went everywhere. And if you don't have a sprint car in Indiana, you don't have a race car at all. So then I bought a sprint car in '95, raced at, and for a couple, 3 years, and had drivers, and I drove, and then that all, kind of, I did what I wanted to do there, and now I've ended up with a midget. And actually, I think the '98 car it's a 1969 Edmunds that Michael Lang's dad owned. So that's where that car came from. I bought it from Chuck Mosley, and then I've cut it up and put it back together 100 times. But that's the history of that car. And then the '99 car Billy drives, that was a copy of an old Edmunds car, and we think it was built in 1988, but we're not sure.
Wow.
And then I've got the '49 car is a Kenyan car that I've butchered up, and I've cut it all up and changed it all around and stuff.
So you love to butcher things up.
Oh yeah. All my buddies have told me that I should have built my own cars, but early on, and when you come out with innovative things, and any of the creators that create stuff, if it's a little bit too much on the edge, the sanctioning body will usually ban it or whack you or whatever, and charge it, charge you something for it. So what I've done was I'm really creative with these old cars that have history, but I've changed them to what I want them to be, and they look like the old cars, but really I've modernized every piece of it.
And I think that's kind of the neat thing about the Rumble is it's got guidelines, but it doesn't have a 27-page rule book.
Yeah.
It allows some ingenuity. And you're right. When the ingenuity wins, then the crybabies start.
Yeah.
And then you have to answer that. But I think that's what makes it fun.
Yeah, I never was a very good spec racer. I never was. I could not. They draw lines and I have to go around it or under it or something. I can't stay in the lines. So then that's exactly why I do it, is because there's not very many rules. That's exactly
and
why.
you like to tease a little bit.
Oh yeah, we always have fun.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you have 3 cars. You only race once a year, right?
Yeah.
So why the Rumble? Like, what made you choose that?
Because you have the ability to create all kinds of, and they're all fairly competitive. I have the opportunity to explore and change things and do what I'd like to do to them, and I don't get set down, or I don't get banned for this rule or that rule. And the race itself takes care of all that. It's so fast and so small, and you have to be on the edge of your seat all the time. As a driver, that them guys they just have to stay on it. What are they? 8-second laps?
Oh yeah, they're quick.
So them guys got to stay on it. So the cars have to be pretty close.
There's not a lot of time for like reaction. Right?
That's right.
Because you're coming around braking, and for anybody that's not seen it, the Rumble in Fort Wayne is held in a temporary oval. It's basically an expo building. I think Tony Barhorse told us it was like 140,000 square feet, the building. I've never really measured it. And we go in, and it's a bare building. Build a racetrack. It's a flat racetrack on concrete, but you race just like you're outdoors. It is really unique. And that brings up a couple things. I know I think Kyle's got some questions about Billy and some of your drivers, but the biggest controversy, and I hate to use the word controversy, but the biggest thing everybody wants is the 100 laps. That's what it was. And no secrets, the ventilation at the building we're working on, we're trying to get better. That's the biggest beef everybody has every year. The racing is phenomenal. The facility is phenomenal. It's just the fumes. So we've cut back the distance. But the neat thing about talking to people away from the racetrack is you get ideas. And this being the 22nd year, you came up with an idea, but then
I just said, what about 322 lap segments is what I was looking at.
Yeah, we looked at that, and then I said, boy, 22 laps
that's kind of short.
It was kind of short, but maybe, just maybe, and I've got to make up my mind real quick, as I said, the entry blanks are coming out next week. And everybody hates the word segment or chase or, all the NASCAR terms and everything. But maybe, just maybe, we could do 33 laps, 34 laps. And the break would be for let the air out for a little bit, but not a rebuild of the car, not a change of the tires. Right. Air pressure only. If you do anything else, you go to the rear. And anybody that's having mechanical problems can dive into the pits. It may help the attrition at the end. I don't know.
Think so.
I'm just throwing it out there, and I'm sure Facebook's going to get, live pretty quick about that.
And you have to watch, we have to keep the fans engaged. And so if they knew what we were going to do, I think they would be prepared for it. I think they would rather see the longer race without the fumes. So I think that might be a good thing.
So it's something to definitely look at, and we'll be looking at our comments here after the show and see what we've got.
Now, I go up there for the fumes. So I'm just saying.
Well, just went through your shop, and we got the plastic fumes, so we know what it's all about. 22nd Annual Rumble in Fort Wayne, presented by Jason Deach Trailer Sales, located in Edgerton, Ohio. Over 350 trailers on site at any time. Check them out. The website is named www.jasondeachtrailersales.com. Check them out online, and third-year sponsorship, and we really thank Jason Deach and welcome any additional sponsors. I know Kyle's working on a couple right now as well.
Yep. We don't have a format comment come in, but we did have a tech question from your buddy Dave Ryder. Can we run a square tail tank on the midgets?
Oh, good golly, Dave, you just love to stir things up. I know you're sitting there on the couch rolling right now. The rules will be out next week, Dave. Let's just put it at that. Okay. Did you want to, you mentioned he has 3 cars.
Yeah. So obviously Billy Weiss is one of your most successful drivers. I think he has 5 wins in the building. And you've had an array of drivers run your other 2 cars. How do you pick those drivers? Do they come to you? Do you go to them? Is there any process for that?
I have guys. There are guys that, that are underqualified. There are some guys that are overqualified. I try to pick somebody that is good for the show. It's mostly friends, associates that I've known for a long time. That's kind of where I get my drivers. I've thought about branching out and getting seeing if some national drivers want to drive, but then that puts more pressure on me, because if my car fails and then they came all this way to come and race my car, and then I've let them down. So
that's racing.
Yeah, I know.
There's no guarantees in racing.
I know, but my cars need to run all night and run well. So so that's a little bit, I dwell on that a little bit.
How do you manage running 3 cars in the weekend? That must be.
Oh, that's easy. You took a trip around the factory. That's nothing compared to this mess. So that's easy.
Okay.
Doing them 3 cars, that's easy.
And the thing is, I don't see you get excited. You're just there to have fun.
Absolutely. And I'm there to have fun and cause havoc. That's exactly why I'm there.
So you talk about time's flying by here. We're under 10 minutes to go. We talked about maybe bringing in some national drivers, but the Rumble is unique. I don't think you could just come right in and win the Rumble.
No, hell no. Without a car, like, there's 4 or 5 of us that have cars that are prepared just to do that. And I don't think you could bring a national car in and compete as well. They'll struggle. Mm-hmm. They'll really struggle.
But I think that with the naturally Tony Stewart racing there, Rico Abreu, Cody Swanson, Kyle Hamilton, and Billy Weiss, it has built up a lot of other interest from drivers that say, I want to go there and beat those guys. Mm-hmm. And that's our goal, to make it an event, more so than a race. And Tony last week dwelled upon the party at the Ramada Plaza. There's just so much going on. And you can be there all day, or you can be there at night.
Yes.
From like about 7 o'clock in the morning to 11 o'clock at night, it's a Rumble.
Well, it's a party and a race breaks out. We've heard that said before, but that's exactly what that is. And it's in the middle of the winter, and just everybody gets together, and it's just fun. It's just a small version of going out to the Chili Bowl. That's all it is. They're, just more regional, local guys. But it really is. It's the same atmosphere.
Well, tickets go on sale November 11th. No increase in pricing this year. Just the reserved seats are available starting November 11th through Ticketmaster or the Coliseum box office. Like any other race, you don't have to buy them in advance. They're available on race day. But if you want your seat, it'll be available November 11th.
Yeah, so we mentioned, you only race once a year and you have 3 cars. So how much preparation work do you put into those cars? How long out do you start working on that?
I make mental notes on all 3 cars, how they perform. And then when I get home, as I unload them, I'll take them in the barn and I'll change the things that need changed or add, or I got to pickle them anyway. So then I make my changes then. So I may work on them couple of months, a couple hours a night, couple of months. And then when I'm done, I put them on a shelf. They sit on a shelf all summer long. And then in October, November, I'll bring them back out. And then on each one, I've got a card, written down what I need to do to finish it up, like putting them stupid seatbelts on that I don't need. and then, yeah, I run these things once a year, and I've got 10-year-old seatbelts. So the seatbelts have 10 races on them, and I get yelled at because my seatbelts.
Yeah, they can always dry rot and stuff. And, safety is foremost, and that's what we're.
But anyway,
but the other thing is, you go to a pit area of a racetrack now, and it's basically a garage on wheels. Everybody's got everything right there at their trailer.
Mm-hmm.
At the Rumble, you don't have that.
No,
you got what is it, like?
You got to be ready.
About an 10 by 8 space,
mm-hmm.
and you got a toolbox. Maybe you can break on a war wagon. I don't know.
Yeah,
but that's what you got.
Well, I do, but you don't have to. But the only attrition I have once in a while is I'll have a broken rocker. Unless one of my drivers hits something, then we got problems. And that's normal stuff. But normally I don't have, and I have a rear end gear brake once in a while. But when you run 20-year-old stuff, that happens too. So
and you mentioned earlier that I said something about, well, maybe we need to check with Don Kenyon on tires. And you said, what for? I just use the same tires over and over.
My left front tires are the same tires I started those cars on. You can't buy that left front tire now.
Is that right?
Yeah. And there's still in my left rears. I don't buy left rears until there's nothing left. When you bolt a brand new tire on, they're too soft, and they'll feather and they'll tear. They need some. And my drivers are crazy. Billy wants brand new tires every time he goes out, and you don't need it. You just
who wins that argument? Obviously, you.
Well, when he brings his own tires, I don't care. I'll put them on there. So, and then, the 49 car, it's got 6 years on the right rear tire. It always gets the takeoffs, and it qualifies with the rest of them. So where's their argument? And the cars don't slow down because of tires. Indoors, the tires don't matter.
That's awesome. I wasn't aware of that. So it's neat that we learn some of this stuff every week.
Yeah, I'm telling you, they don't, and when you talk about tire prep and all that voodoo and all that stuff, I don't, you could prep them, but I really not sure it would help that much because the tire is too soft already.
The biggest argument we have, and I think it's more of a complaint than it is an argument, is the rubber. The track is so unpredictable.
That's absolutely.
You could be out there in hot laps and running on rubber where it takes your shoes off, and then you go out there for your heat race and you're almost like back down to bare concrete.
Yeah, and when it rubbers up, it tears the tires up. And then when the rubber goes away and you're down to the concrete, you need that soft compound to get any kind of bite, or they'd just be spinning out and doing donuts. So, we're on the right tire. It's not that I'm questioning that, but when you start putting additives on the tires, I don't think it's just going to make matters worse. Like you said, the racetrack changes so much. You can't predict what it's going to do. I just think we need plenty of Coke syrup. What we need.
Yeah. I think last year I used Mountain Dew. I think this year I might switch to Pepsi. I don't know. We use different flavors. It's whatever the Coliseum has left over.
I'd use whatever they got, and I'd use plenty of it.
Okay, well, I noticed in the comments that we got last year after the race, that was one of them, and the use of more rosin. And my boss,
that was Stewart,
he loves the second groove, and that's our goal. It's hit or miss. A couple years ago, we had 2 wide racing almost the whole event, and last year, pardon my French kids, it sucked. The racing was single file, and it just wasn't good. So it's you work hard to prepare a right race car. We work hard to try to prepare a right racetrack, and some days you got it, and some days you don't.
If you're going to break this up into those segments, I think you ought to re-rosin the racetrack in between the segments.
Well, people, you hear what we're talking about. We've got about 4 days to get comments in, and we'll look at some of these comments and see what people think. But you know, if Henry Ford hadn't changed the style of his car every year, we'd all still be driving Model Ts.
Mhm.
So, you know, you have to adapt to the times, and it's
But
worth
you
looking
know, I do it because of the challenge. You know, I do it because it fits my style of racing. It just fits me. I like it. So
Okay.
whatever you throw at me, I'm going to adapt.
There you go. Kyle, any questions you have there you want to close out with here?
We do have a few people interested. Are you ready to release your driver lineup yet?
No, and I need to hurry up.
Okay.
Can you? Who's asking? Do you know?
That's actually Tony Barhorse asking.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. No, I haven't. Billy for sure, and then I'm not sure. Like I said, I'm looking at maybe picking some national guys, and then, but then I have to perform, and I always like giving the local guy a shot. You know, somebody from Noblesville. Some local.
So you want to tell people how to get a hold of you, or just if they want to find you?
No, hell no. They can find what they want. My phone would go crazy if I did that.
All right, we're talking to Randy Burrow here tonight. He fields 3 cars every year for the Rumble in Fort Wayne, and you heard him. They're not new cars; they're old cars, but they're fast cars. Billy, his main driver, holds. He's only one of 2 drivers that has swept the weekend, and they went the horn, I think. So we have 30 seconds left. Anything you want to throw out there, Randy?
No, I think we're good.
All right, so we always say that the pit parking begins on a certain time, and you can go up there a day and a half before that, and Randy will already be up there. He loves to stretch the rules as much as he can. So, Randy, like I said earlier in the show, we always look forward to talking with you, because I think as the people just saw, you tell it the way it is.
Well,
and, that's what it's all
and
about.
I'm censored today. Normally, I'm not this quiet, but I got to be censored. So.
And I never know how to turn the phone off. I'm not smart enough. Kyle, you want to close it out for us?
Yeah, December 27th, 28th, the Rumble in Fort Wayne. I'm excited to hear the uncensored version of Randy Burrows that weekend. But yeah, make sure you get your comments in about that format. Like and share, and keep supporting us.
All right.